Good morning, everyone. My name is Kimberlie Wright. Welcome to the acronym MSOON, M-S-O-O-N. It stands for Making Something Out of Nothing. We are always creating things from found objects, things that people would usually make their trash. We find some way to turn it into a treasure, and also we upcycle, but just be mindful of the things that you are keeping. Make sure that they will be useful to make something renewed and beautiful. All right. So I would like to say good morning to everyone. If you'd like to unmute yourselves, please do so. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
I have a question.
Yes,
Good morning.
I have a question.
yes, ma'am.
When you make that for the cloth, Pam and I are going to do it together. Do I dip the cloth in the plaster of Paris and then wrap it around?
Yeah, and I'm gonna check myself today, but the video for the lady sculpture fabric, it should be on YouTube now.
Oh.
So you'll be able to go back and watch that.
Oh, okay.
It should have been uploaded on YouTube on Friday. So you're gonna look up lady sculpture and maybe like Kimberlie Wright's lady sculpture with fabric, fabric design, something like that.
Thanks.
No problem, thank you.
You finished.
Trying to make sure the phone is turned off so we can bring it during class. Give me 1 second, I want to cancel my spotlight. Okay, so at this time, of course, I asked you all last week to gather a couple of materials so that we could start out a new project. And I suspect today we're going to be probably having a short class because we have to do the work to the paper tubes to actually manifest the project. So at this time, I just want to ask anybody, do they have any show and tell pieces? Anybody got anything to show?
It's on.
It's on. You can talk.
Yes, Ms.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so I saw Miss Jean's hand first. I'll take Miss Jean Harris.
Well, I listen to what you say. You know, take something and make it. You know those calendars they give out at the Chinese restaurant?
Yeah.
Well, I turned it on the back and I said, what do I think of when I think of the pandemic? So I created this.
Oh, wow. And it looks like the
pandemic.
Virus, how they have it. It could be confusion scattered all around.
Oh, she's got
The virus.
Nice.
That's nice. That's
Thanks.
very, very creative.
Thank you.
And you know, Miss Jean, you brought one of those calendars to the center one time in the class. I still have it because you were saying you wanted to do some artwork on the back of that one as well. But that looks really beautiful, and that's a really good way to repurpose.
Well, it gets your frustration out too.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for sharing that. And now we're gonna go to Mr. Ronnie and Miss Jennifer.
Well, that looks good.
Ooh,
Can you
that's
see it,
pretty.
Kim?
I can see it. I think I probably just want y'all to get a little closer.
Okay.
If you're able to.
Yeah. So this is okay.
Ooh.
Turn to the side and the back. Wow. Okay.
And I'm going to put it on whoops. Okay.
That looks really nice.
Oh yeah.
Put it on
So is that a piece that you might enter into the show?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, good job. Okay, cool. And
Okay.
Miss Faustina. I see y'all did y'all head a different color. Turn it back to the side again and pull it back just a bit. Thank you. I'm trying to see the bottom of your gown. That looks nice. Keep turning to the next side. Keep going. That looks nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the.
And I will put it on this.
That looks really beautiful. I like your neck piece too. It reminds me of like the Ndebele tribe.
Ah, okay.
Like with the neck covered all the way up too. Really looks nice. And Mr. Runny, is your figure a woman?
What's that?
Is your figure a woman?
Yeah.
Okay. It looked really nice. Y'all did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I can put this to the side now.
Like, envious, I had to finish mine. What in the world? That looks really good. Thank you. Anybody else have anything to show and tell? Miss Betty?
Yeah, it
doesn't matter. It don't matter if you whatever stage you at. It's fine. Can you pull it back just a little bit?
It's not
it's starting to what?
Back up.
It's starting to unravel.
Oh, it's beautiful.
No, I gotta. And then that's the
bottom.
The bottom.
I like the way your material is curving. And I see on the side you did something that looks beautiful. Keep going around. Keep going around the other way. Keep going till you get to the side. Okay.
Great.
Keep going. Okay, that looks really good. It looks really nice. Okay. That's good.
I want you to look at these.
You got something to show me, Pam?
Girl, I'm just looking at all what these young people done put out there, kind of making me shame.
Pam, show them what you started. Show them
I ain't say, Eugene, not until it's ready. No, ma'am. Y'all long you don't get off the phone and talk about me.
That's so funny. So did anybody need instructions on how to roll the paper tubes with the dowel and the paper? You do need instructions? Okay.
No. I thought you said that we.
What about Mr. Ronnie and Miss Jennifer? You do y'all, Miss Sharon? Anybody need instructions on how to roll the paper tube?
Well, you can review.
I think y'all, Mr. Ronnie, you have muted yourself. Oh, yes, okay.
Jennifer made some. I haven't made any yet, but I'm going to.
It's
I made a few.
It's no problem. So how many of you made one tube? Everybody just sit there.
I made 10.
That's no problem. It's no problem. You did better than me. All right. So I just will kind of do just a quick demo on that. Like I said, we probably wouldn't have a long class today. Spotlight video. I'm going to bring this camera a little closer so you all can see. All right, so basically you see I have newspaper. I usually like to cover my table because once you start rolling the paper tube, the glue sort of like spreads out of the paper and it gets a little messy, and especially with your fingers. as you can have you can keep a wet cloth around to rub your fingers, or what I simply do is just roll the glue until it comes off. And so I've already opened up, like say like if I'm probably watching TV or something, that's a good time for me to do that, to multitask at the same time, because it's not really like you have to think too much to do it. I go ahead and tear the cover off, and the cover is really thick. So generally I don't use the cover as part of my rolling. And then I sort of tear the magazine in sections, of course. And all you do is take a sheet of the paper and find which side you want to use. I make sure to look at it from diagonally, corner to corner. And I go ahead and just place one edge of the tube into the paper and just start making sure I have the corner rolled over. I just start to roll and keeping my hand tight so that the tube stays tight. And once I'm here and I have like a full corner, what I do is I go ahead and put glue on the edge and a little in the middle. You'll find that if you just put it right on the tip, sometimes when you are constructing the paper tubes, constructing something out of the paper tubes, they tend to might unravel or come loose. So I just put not like a really thick blend, but I put a small amount of glue on there. And as you can see, you see the glue sort of pressing and rolling out. All I do is kind of just roll my finger over the tube so as to get that excess glue on the tube somewhere so that it can actually seal it. And then I squeeze at the bottom of the tube and kind of just turn and pull the tube, the dowel out. So also you can go ahead back and check to see if your the last edge is glued, and if not, just go ahead and press it. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and make 2 of those and give you your next instruction, because by next week, even if you have not finished, it's okay. I'm just saying by next week, everybody should have made tubes and probably constructed the wheel that we need to create the actual piece of artwork that we're making. So all I can say is that we are creating a paper vessel, meaning like you might decide to, when you present your artwork for the art show, even though I called it a vessel, you might, since it's your artwork, you might decide to name it or even call it something else. You might decide to call it pizza head. I don't know. It's all,
Roll on. Roll on.
it's all about what you want to do. Okay, so I think so far I have enough tools to go ahead and let you know basically. Let's see, Miss Jennifer said she had 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. All right, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, mean anything. All right. So I do plan on finishing this whole magazine, and for my project personally, I'm probably going to do 2 magazines just to make sure I have enough too. And so after that, what you want to do is create a wheel. The instructions to creating this wheel is you have to have some type of clamp. I have this clamp, or you can possibly use a rubber band. You need something that's gonna hold the wheel because you will not be gluing in between the pieces. You need to leave the entire wheel loose. So all you're gonna do is start to, once you, as you can see, one of my pieces unraveled a little bit. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Does it matter how long they are? Seem like mine look awful longer than yours.
What size dowel did you, let me see. Can you put yours up to the screen? Let's see.
Is it there?
How did they get to be that long? Turn it to the side.
You used a double sheet of magazines.
Oh, that's what happened. I used 2 probably instead of 1.
But I'm thinking that even still, when you pulled it, it must have turn it all the way to the side, like pull it back a little bit. Actually, it's perfect. That doesn't mean anything. So I'm gonna tell you why. It's no problem, Miss Jennifer. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna do that one more time though, just to make sure. So once again, I don't know how you use 2 sheets of paper, but if you did use 2 sheets of paper, and once you pull your dowel out, maybe the thing expanded or something.
See what happened. I used the whole sheet that you used. See, you tore half, I used the whole sheet instead of half the sheet. That's how I got that long.
Like the 2 sides of the page.
Yes, that's what I did.
Like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's kind of ingenious in itself, because I guess it'll work for the project, but it's nothing wrong with it. So anyway, I'm just gonna, since you said that, it's fine. You're gonna see why, because what we're gonna be doing is attaching these tubes together anyway. A lot of people already know this technique as it pertains to building something, because every time we make something, sometimes we have to connect the tube, so to speak. And so what you're gonna do is just put a little bit of glue first. Sorry, forgive me. The first thing you have to do is stick one paper tube inside the other one to see if it fits. You see how that does not fit all the way? So you want it to be able to actually go just to be able to insert all the way in there a little bit. And as you can see, Miss Jennifer, really that would be like your whole tube. You see what I'm saying? So the fact that you made them a little longer is just fine. And maybe that kind of helped you a little bit. All right. So what you're gonna do is place a little bit of glue. You don't want to overload your glue because it will take too long for the glue to dry. However, remember which end you tried or check to see if it fit. And then you're gonna continue to add the tubes. Sorry, I have to measure it first to see if it even fits before I go there. All right, so that fit really good inside that tube. I'm just gonna place my glue there and insert that tube into the other. All right, so as you're kind of building this long tube together, you're allowing the first one to sort of dry and the second and third one. So I just recommend do not put too many tubes together that you're not able to handle. So now I'm just gonna do probably 2 more. So far I've done 3. I'm going to measure if that fits. I'm adding a little glue, inserting my 4th tube, and now the 5th. But I have to, once again, measure to see if it's going to fit inside. I think I want to turn it around, yes. And so I'm gonna add my glue and insert the tube.
Try the other one.
So just to give this, these are 5 tubes. Just to give that just a couple of minutes to dry, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the last 6 that I had because I counted 11. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put those together while I'm giving that a couple of minutes to dry. Because once you start handling it, it might come loose, which is fine. You can always put it back together. So again, finding or measuring that to see if it fits. Fits really well. So at this stage of the project, that's all you need is your dowel, your magazine, newspaper, and Elmer's glue. All right. So I'm just once again doing the next six paper tubes so that I can allow my first piece to dry a little. Adding some glue, inserting that tube together, and I have 2 more. But mind you, I'm going to continue to build the wheel. I want my wheel to be larger than my hand. You can make a piece the size of your palm, the palm of your hand, or in one smaller. But eventually when you finish, you want to have 2 wheels. You want to have a wheel that whatever size it is, your second wheel will be just a little bit smaller. All right, continuing on, I'm measuring to see if the tube fits. That fits really well. And then I'm gonna insert, and I'm gonna put my last one together. All that seems to be about the same size. So I'm gonna use this end. Adding glue and the tube. So while I was building that next particular piece, as you can see, I was giving this one a little time to dry. And what you're going to do is either, you can take a cup, or you can take a rolling pin, or you can even use just the palm of your hand. Like just to, so right now I'm gonna use a bottle, a plastic bottle. I'm gonna just roll the paper flat. And I'm sliding it down so I can roll the other end flat as well. And even though I'm gonna like actually make it flatter than this just gives me a chance to roll it down where I don't have to use the strength in my hand so much. So also I'm gonna use the corner of the table to smash that down like so. As you can see, you want to be careful when you get to the joints of where you attach the tube to each other, because you might make a mistake and pull it out. But if you pull it back out, you can either just glue it together or stick it right back into the joint that it came out of. So all I did was scrape the paper at the edge of the table so that I could make it even flatter. All right, and so as you can see, this is what I have now. You can see where it's bending, where the joints are. However, I'm just gonna lay this back on the table, and I'm going to start to roll. I think I wanna start it off just to make it round with an ink pen. All right, so as you can see, I have this ink pen in the end of my paper, but I'm just gonna like keep going The important thing about this, what I'm trying to say to you, is never to add glue down the strip. You only want to just roll the piece and make sure it stays together. So I'm going to roll this all the way and then just continue to show you how to, I just took the pen out of the paper and this is how it's looking. Sometimes you have to press it on each side with your both fingers to make sure it stays level since it's not glued together. And just keep rolling until you roll up the entire tubes that you put together. And as you can see, this small wheel or circle is not going to be larger than my hand. So you have to keep adding pieces, but you want to keep pulling the wheel back so as to make sure it's tight. That is the most important thing to building this wheel, that you want to keep it tight and together. So you might get really frustrated if you end up letting it go and you have to re-roll that all the way. That's why you need a rubber band or some type of clip to hold it. You can, even though I gave you a few options as to how to hold it, maybe you can come up with your own way of how to hold it, maybe sitting something on top of it. But the actual end, not the top or the bottom, the end is where you need to secure it, where it does not come loose until you finish the entire wheel. Once you finish the entire wheel, for example, like if this wheel was the size of, or a little bit larger, I'm gonna do mine a little bit larger than the palm of my hand, then you would be able to take this last tail or end of the tube and go ahead and glue it down. However, I'm not ready to glue that down because I'm not finished. This wheel is nowhere near larger than the palm of my hand. So for now, where the little tail or the end sticks out, what you do to secure it is you go ahead and just add a clip. Or you can add a rubber band. I have to tighten this just a bit. So that's how I would secure my piece, even if I have to put it away to finish. But for now, so since I made this small wheel, you can see the size of it compared to the palm of my hand. I'm gonna go ahead and the other 6 tubes that I already had, I'm just gonna go ahead and roll those out to flatten them. Pulling it in, rolling it. And of course, you know, you're gonna add this to the piece that you've already done the same way. However, I'm just gonna go ahead and show you, and we will conclude or end class for today. So I've smashed the whole piece with my water bottle or my makeshift rolling pin. And now I'm going to press this out more by using the edge of the table. I was doing it a little bit slow before so you can see, but it doesn't take that long. As long as you scrape it on the edge, it'll get flat. A couple of portions of this is not dry within the joint, so it kind of coming loose just a little bit, but as long as it doesn't come loose all the way, it's fine. All right, so now I'm at the end of this last piece, but I want to open the end of the tube back again. I'm grabbing my small wheel that I've already made. I'm I'm gonna sit this piece up on the table rather than the floor so it'll be easier to work with the actual tube that I'm about to roll, and making sure to grab the wheel where it doesn't just unravel. I'm going to take that tail loose just a bit so that I can open the end of it again to attach it to the next piece. So first I have to measure to see if it's going to fit inside, which it does. And I'm going to get my glue, insert. And so that I don't release this and make it come loose, I'm going to actually put my clamp on it just to be safe and careful. You're able to hold it the whole time, do whatever you need to do, but I'm going to put mine together. As you can see, it's just like a tape dispenser. I have a piece of it sticking out so that I can apply it to the other piece. Whenever you want to add, it's exactly what you're going to be doing. Simply adding another layer of tube. You can do it like putting 6 together and adding them, or do it one by one. However you want to manipulate it, it's fine. Just, you know, get it done the best way you can. And so as you can see where I put that together, I pressed it flat and just to make sure that it dries. And I'm going to take my wheel loose, pull it so that it can still tighten. And then what I'm going to do is just go ahead and continue to, as you can see, that came loose. So I'm going to actually, I'm not even going to add in the hole. I'm just going to actually sit it on top like so and hold it and keep going around. But as long as you don't have too much glue touching the piece where it seals within this part, you don't want to add any glue. It needs to be able to be loose. And so I'm continuing to go around the wheel until I finish this piece. If you need to tighten it, just hold the center of the wheel and pull it a little bit. Pull the tail, it will tighten because it needs to be as tight as possible. And I'm continuing to hold my thumb and fingers on the top and back so that it can stay tight and flat and all together and level. So I'm just tightening this a bit, holding the center and pulling the tail. Or the end of the tube that's sticking out. Pulling, continuing to round that out. Now I want to hold the center and tighten it up a bit because I'm almost at the end. Leveling it out with my hand. And as you can see right now, I'm at the end and I'm going to grab my clip so as to put it all the way down on that end and to hold it. So right now you can see my wheel is getting larger. However, my hands are still sticking out and I want my wheel to be larger than my hand. And the second wheel, I'm going to make 2 wheels. The second wheel is going to be sticking, it's going to be a little bit smaller than the first wheel. And next week, once you finish the wheel, whatever size you desire, go ahead and just the last end of that tail, just go ahead and put a little glue and glue it down. but don't glue it down until you're completely sure that you are finished with the size of the wheel. Even if next week you want to get clarification, or you want to ask me, Kim, do you think my wheel is large enough? You can glue it right in class if you feel like you want to wait to ask. It's up to you. So those are the instructions for today as it pertains to what to do next. Do we have any questions? Any questions? So we are making 2 wheels. I said that I was going to create one larger than my hand. You would not be able to see any of my fingers or any of the palms sticking out. And then my second wheel is going to be a size smaller than that. Not too much smaller, but just a little bit smaller. And once again, I was going to say I would have like a show and tell. I usually don't show and tell my palm creations until they actually finish, but I'll go ahead and just show these for today. I never really show these until they completely finish, but just to give you all some more inspiration. So this was the hand, the palm print we did that became like an octopus. And I actually couldn't see it hardly last week because the pencil, I had not inked it in yet, or I've used the Sharpie, but the pencil, you could barely see it. So that's my octopus scene. This is my ear of corn scene. And like I was saying, this side is going to be like a cornfield with the sky, and this side is popcorn. And I have my penguin. Of course, it's on a block of ice in a cold region. And I have my mouse that I am getting together now. All right. Are there any questions, suggestions?
Those are nice.
Thank you.
Great.
Did anybody get a chance to take any photos of their art yet? Okay, don't forget that we will be having an art slideshow for the month of May, which is Older Americans Month. The deadline to send the pictures to the email address. Does everyone have the email address?
Give it to us again, please.
No problem. The deadline to send your artwork to the email address is April the 15th. April the 15th. So I'm writing in the chat. It's capital H, lowercase e, A-R-T-I-S-T, capital S, H-O-W, 2021 at gmail.com. Email address to send art slide show photos.
Artist show. Okay.
Deadline is April the 15th, 2021. All right, Ms. Jean, I wanted you to know too that you submitted a piece to me for the last show that they were going to do at the police department for the city of Atlanta. I was going to say you never put that in the art show, so you know you're more than welcome to take a picture of it. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was your Africa piece.
The continent of Africa?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I didn't send it.
No, I'm saying, no, I know that. I'm saying if you want to put that in the show,
Okay, thank you.
You can if you want to. And don't forget that all art need to have, when you email me your work, you need to have titles and the artist name and or photo. You know, sometimes you see Chef Ramsay, the chef that usually hosts Master Chef. You see him taking pictures at the beginning of the show. He'll be like that, or with a knife or something, because knives have to do with culinary arts. Well, if the photo of yourself is optional, if you want to have a photo of yourself, I probably would have your photo of yourself shown, and then maybe after that, some works in that category that you have. Now, if you have another category, if you want to have a different photo or the same photo, we could do that as well. Like, you might be showing something from pottery. So I have like 10 pieces of yours from pottery. Then you might be showing something from Jamal's class. So I would have your photo again, and then your works from Jamal's genre of that class per se. So if you want to provide a photo with a brush in your hand or paint all over your face, I don't know. Like, be creative and, you know, send the photos, your actual photographs as well, but that's optional. So the last thing I wanted to say today is that for Older Americans Month, one of our events that we will be having is a sip and paint. A sip and paint. So as far as everyone that I see in the class, I'll just let you know from this class who has already signed up for that. And you all know that I'm gonna provide the canvas with the image, and you have to have your own paint and brush, which would probably be, even if you have acrylics, it's fine. So that's up to you. 1 second. From this class, I have participating with the sip and paint, which is supposed to be May 12th. I have Miss Jean Blackshear Harris. I have Pamela Church, Jennifer Jordan, Ronnie Clark. So Miss Sharon Hartnett, if you want to participate in this at any time, it's up to you, just let me know. But the canvases have to be picked up. Some people already have certain schedules where they come to the facility, and that's where you can pick your canvas up, and I'll let you know the time that you're able to do that. And anytime if you want to be added to this list, just let me know. So I just wanted to say that we are all adults. If you could just stay online for a second, I just wanted to make an announcement, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining Making Something Out of Nothing. My name is Kimberlie Wright. I will see you all next week. Hold on 1 second, young people.